Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel for a special edition episode. It's the end of series awards. From Season 1 to Season 5, our career mode over 7 years has finished on EA FC24. It's been an exciting series of Manchester City. I have really enjoyed this series. Lots has happened throughout it, and these are all the stats and all the awards for that series for you guys to enjoy. So starting with our total performance awards for the season, this is how we did. Stats of the series is our first section, starting off with total performances. So we had, throughout 7 seasons, five seasons of the episodes on the channel, 73% win percentage, which is pretty good, I think. I'm pretty happy with that. We played a total of 455 games in this career mode, winning 332 of those. We drew 62. We lost 61, which is pretty even between those. I mean, the wins are massive. We scored 1,102 goals across this series and conceded a total of 526. What a series it has been, and those stats just show how good we have been in our total performances. And as for the trophy tally, stats of the series that is, we won 19 trophies in total throughout this series, 7 league titles, that's 7 Premier League titles in 7 seasons. City win a title in every single season, which is absolutely insane, We won 8 domestic cups, that's FA Cups and Carabao Cups, the major trophies, and 4 continental cups that we managed to win. That's the Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup. Only 4 is a little bit disappointing over 7 seasons, but the Champions League is probably one of the most difficult trophies to win, and I think 4 is still a pretty good achievement out of 7 seasons. Well, the best and worst results from over the seasons, this stats of the series are, our biggest win was a 7-0 win over Manchester United in 2026 at home. That was under Roberto De Zerbi, where City smashed United at home, won 7-0. And I remember us saying, this is the best football we've ever played. Our biggest defeat, however, was under Pep Guardiola in 2025, where we went and lost 6-1 to Liverpool at home. So both results came at home. I remember that Liverpool game very well. We thought that we'd pretty much thrown away the league title, didn't we, in that 6-1 defeat? But we went on still to win the league title and show our quality. But that was one of the worst days, wasn't it, in the series throughout those 5 seasons at the club, 7 seasons at the club, 5 series on the channel. And it was a big shame we lost 6-1 to Liverpool, but it didn't matter. City still went on to win that Premier League title. Well, as for the appearance tally, the appearances of the season, top appearances, who made the most appearances at the club? Well, number 1 is Ederson. The goalkeeper made 328 appearances for the club over these past 7 seasons. That is absolutely spectacular. That shows how he has been the key man in goal for 3 managers at the club. Rico Lewis through the youth system, a key man in midfield, very versatile. He made 284 appearances for the club over the past 7 seasons. And in 3rd place was Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku made 282 appearances, only 2 appearances off Rico Lewis, as our top 3 most appearance players over the past 7 seasons, the 5 series here on the channel. As for assists, and our top assists of the series, Jeremy Doku actually came top with 94 assists. That is a really good record. Kevin De Bruyne, 87, and Phil Foden with 82. Now, you have to remember, Jeremy Doku played, 3 more years at the club than Kevin De Bruyne, and still only just beat City's king. But De Bruyne with 87 assists, Phil Foden with 82, Doku top assisters throughout this career mode with 94 assists. And the big one is, of course, goals. The goal tally for the top scorer of the series, and there's no surprises here in the top 2, but maybe in number 3. Top was Erling Haaland, who had 3 seasons away from the club and still scored a grand total of 219 goals throughout the series. Julian Alvarez managed to get himself 169 goals as well. Still a long way off Erling Haaland, isn't he? And one way off Erling Haaland, who is just unbelievable. And Jeremy Doku managed to get himself 98 goals throughout the series. Really good for him. Nearly hit the 100 point and the 100 goal tally. Would have been nice for him to get there, but it shows the quality of these players and how well we've performed over these series. We made some big moves in the transfer market, but the biggest move we did make was under Pep Guardiola. Manchester City went and broke their transfer record of 100 million for Jack Grealish, and our biggest spend of the series was 105 million on Bayern Munich's Jamal Musiala. He was a key player on that left-hand side, playing the midfield as well for Pep Guardiola. Under Roberto De Zerbi, he moved him out to the left-hand side. Under Ilkay Gundogan, he played on the left-hand side as well. A brilliant player. I think he was fantastic for us. His stats definitely show that. We'll see that as we get through this episode. But yeah, credit to Jamal Musiala for 105 million. I do think it's money well spent. Sometimes when you spend big money on players, you come to regret that sort of spend, but not on Musiala. He was fantastic. He performed to the top of his ability most of the time. I mean, his first season, he had a massive setback, didn't he, with an ACL injury that ruled him out for nearly the whole season. You thought, wow, City spent 105 million on a player who's not even played first team football now because he's been injured, an ACL injury, but he didn't let that stop him. He came back and he performed well for the club. And now for what I picked as my best 11 of the series, the best starting 11 of the series. We've gone with manager Ilkay Gundogan. I could have gone with Pep Guardiola, Roberto De Zerbi, but I've gone with Ilkay Gundogan because we won the most under Ilkay Gundogan, every single trophy on offer. And this is the starting 11 I've gone with, a 4-3-3. Ederson starts in goal, our most appeared goalkeeper throughout the series. Rico Lewis has been pushed to right back from midfield because he's our second most appeared player, also one of our best young players this series. John Stones partners Callum Doyle, who came through the youth system there, a mainstay, both those two in the back line with Valentin Barco. What a sign he has been for the club at left back. He came in and was our future left back, stayed as left back for most of the series. Rodri, despite leaving for Barcelona, definitely the best holding midfielder we've ever had. Eze, one of our best signs in that midfield with captain Kevin De Bruyne. You can't not include him there. On the right hand side, I've gone with Phil Foden ahead of Jamal Musiala. On the left hand side, I've gone with Jeremy Doku because he's one of our top goal scorers, top assisters and top appearance. And of course, our top goal scorer throughout the series, you've got to go with Erling Haaland. Scored so many goals for the club, was so prolific. And I mean, that side there, that starting 11, I don't think at any point did we see that starting 11 all play together in that way in their prime. But if we had it done, then wow, I think, could we have achieved any more? Not really. But I think that side, if it was, they're all, say, 22 years of age, and they all played until they were 30, City would win every trophy on offer, every game, every season they would win, because that starting 11 is absolutely spectacular. Just on to my personal awards now. We do have voted awards by you guys, fan voted awards, but these are my personal awards, starting with my underrated player of the season. And I've gone with Matheus Nunes, a bit of a left field option maybe. I don't think he'll get picked in the vote, Matheus Nunes, but I believe he is our underrated player of the season. He made 250 appearances for the club, 24 goals and 43 assists in that time. But I give him the underrated player award because this man has been so versatile for us and for the club throughout the years. He's played central midfield, holding midfield, attacking midfield. He's played on the wide areas. He's played at striker. He played a lot of his time under Roberto De Zerbi at fullback. He even played at times at centre-back. This man has played literally anywhere, and he became what I said as Manchester City's Swiss Army knife. A player who can play in any position, play anywhere, and I think he deserves that award of the underrated player because of his versatility. 250 appearances for the club as never a starter, but always stepped up, always performed, and wherever he was asked to do a job, he always did a job for Manchester City. So our underrated player of the series goes to Matheus Nunes. As for the young player of the series, I decided to give that award to Rico Lewis. I don't think it could have gone to anyone else. He made 284 appearances for the club, our second most appeared player throughout this series. He got 53 assists playing in midfield and at fullback, and he also got 14 goals for the club. He really started to shine under Pep Guardiola, didn't he? Bringing him through our youth system at such a young age. He then found himself as a starter in Pep Guardiola's side, a starter in Roberto De Zerbi's side, and a starter in Ilkay Gundogan's midfield as well. I don't think there's anyone else we could have gone with really as a young player of the season series because he's just been so good. And I mean, making 284 appearances, being such an important player for Manchester City, coming through our youth system and doing all that he's done for the club. There was no one else really. There was options, but there was no one else who really stood out like Rico Lewis. And Rico Lewis is my young player of the whole series. Up next, we had signing of the series, and that was a difficult one. We've made some really good signs. I mean, Valentin Barco came in as a left back and was our main left back throughout the series. We brought in, of course, Erling Haaland back to the club, so he would count as a sign of the series in the 5th season. We had some other good signs as well. Federico Redondo was one. Jamal Musiala, but I don't think anyone better than, especially his first 2 seasons at the club, than Eberechi Eze. My sign of the series, 207 appearances for the club. He scored 50 goals in that time, got 64 assists. That's pretty much a goal or an assist every other game. And he was spectacular. He drove us to the Premier League title in that first season. He drove us to the Premier League title in the second season as well with his goals and assists. He's one of our key standout players. I've been very, very impressed with him throughout his time at Manchester City, and he deserves the plaudits. He made a big money move from us to Real Madrid, where we only lost about 5 million on the deal. I think we signed him for 80 or 75 and sold him for 75 to Real Madrid after İlkay Gundogan just didn't see space for him in the midfield. But he certainly has been a spectacular player for the club. And don't worry, guys, for these underrated best 11 and young players signing and player of the series coming up next, you guys also have the own vote as well. You can vote as well. You might not agree with me. You don't have to agree with me, but I think some of you might do. But Eber Chidieze, yeah, what a sign he was for the club. Signed very early on in the series and always performed, and I was very impressed with him. So signing the series, Eber Chidieze. Well, for the big one, for my player of the series, I was torn. I was very torn between two players, or three players actually. I was torn between for Kevin De Bruyne, Jeremy Doku, and Erling Haaland. I narrowed it down to Haaland and Doku, and I was very, very close to giving it to Jeremy Doku. But for the sheer quality and for the sheer amount of goals he scored, I had to give it to Erling Haaland in the end. 194 appearances for the club, and he scored more goals than appearances, nearly 30 more goals than appearances, with 219 goals for the club in 194 appearances, 44 assists. The numbers don't lie, the numbers are insane. He scored bags of goals, he drove the side with his goals to a Premier League title, Champions Leagues under Pep Guardiola. He decided to leave under Roberto De Zerbi, but when De Zerbi left and İlkay Gundogan came back, his former captain and teammate İlkay Gundogan called him as the manager of City and said, listen, Erling, we'd like you to come back. Erling wanted to leave Real Madrid. He thought he'd achieved everything he could in La Liga, and he came back to Manchester City and again scored goals and again drove City to the most successful ever season in world football and in the club's history. And that is why Erling Haaland is my player of the series. Difficult one to give out with Doku performing so well, but I think consistently no one better over the 5 seasons, or the 7 seasons of 5 series on this channel than Erling Haaland on FC24 this season. You've heard my personal awards. It's time for you guys to vote. You can go over to the community tab on YouTube and vote for these if you haven't voted already, and find out who is the winners of you guys, the community voted players of the season and so on. So the underrated player of the series, the nominees are Julian Alvarez. In 258 appearances, he got 169 goals and 64 assists. John Stones with 230 appearances, 6 goals and 19 assists. Sorry, the other way round. Ederson, 328 appearances, 10 assists for the club. Matheus Nunes with 250 appearances for the club. And he was my underrated player of the season. You guys go and vote for your underrated player of the season on the community tab. My young player went to Rico Lewis with 284 appearances, 53 assists and 14 goals. But the nominees you can vote for are between Claudio Echeverri, 141 appearances for the club, Callum Doyle with 182 appearances for the club, Joel Ndala with 117 appearances for the club. I mean, Echeverri scored 55 goals and got 39 assists in that time. Numbers-wise, he's probably up there the best. But you guys vote for the young player of the season in the community tab. Find out who you guys voted for. That'll be very interesting. My personal one was Rico Lewis. For the signing of the season, my personal option was Eze. I picked him with 207 appearances for the club, 64 assists and 50 goals. The nominees include Valentin Barco, who made 240 appearances for the club, by the way. Savio made 215, or Jamal Musiala, stats-wise outdoes all the others, but appearance-wise didn't get the numbers. He got 76 goals and 63 assists, 192 appearances. Stats-wise, he's probably the best performer there, Musiala. But I went for Eze for the impact he had earlier on in the season. But guys, get into that community tab and vote for your signing of the series. And the final vote there on the community tab is for the player of the series. I went with Erling Haaland, who scored 219 goals in 194 appearances, 44 assists as well. Ridiculous return. But you could have gone for Jeremy Doku, who played 282 appearances for the club. You can go for Kevin De Bruyne, who got 87 assists and 193 appearances for the club. Or you could have gone with Phil Foden with 232 appearances for the club. I mean, personally, I think it's between Doku and Haaland. I think they are the two standout performers. Phil Foden had too many injury issues throughout the series that really hampered him. He did step up massively at the end, but those injuries hampered him. And Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, what a superstar he is. But it's got to go between, I think, purely on stats-wise and numbers-wise, between Haaland and Doku. But get yourself voting. These are the nominees, your 4 options for our player of the series. And so, guys, that ends the FC24 career mode here on the We Are City channel. I've really enjoyed these 5 series, 7 seasons with the club here with Manchester City. Shared many ups and downs and shared so many exciting bits of football, signings, goals, trophies, everything, new managers. It's been so amazing. I've really enjoyed it. This is an exclusive episode, a special one, just to end it and round it all up. Thank you very much for watching, guys. But there's one thing I'd like you to do finally. Let us know in the comments down below what was the moment of the series for you. It could be a signing, it could be a goal, it could be a trophy be lifted, it could be a moment, it could be anything. You let us know in the comments down below what your moment was a series was. You've shared 5 seasons, 7 seasons, 5 series with the club, with me on the We Are City channel in this series, which I've absolutely loved. Now, it's on to new things, new ideas and new stuff on the channel. There will be a new series starting this week on Monday. Of course, if you're watching this episode on the members channel, you're watching it early, that won't be starting then, but there will be new things coming for the members as always. Thank you very much, guys, for being part of it. I've really enjoyed this season and this series on the club. Please, on the channel and with Manchester City with the club. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe if you are new. And if you want to go and watch back them all, there's a playlist. Go and watch them all. What a series. What a series, honestly. A big journey with Manchester City Football Club. Ups and downs, but most of the time, very successful. And consider joining the We Are City Members Club. You can get exclusive videos, exclusive series. We've got a series out there at the moment of İlkay Gundogan. Obviously, as manager, you can see his journey before he reached Manchester City and so much more, as well as extended episodes and videos early. Don't miss out. We'll see you guys next time.